Dortmund winger Jamie Gittens potentially joining Chelsea in a deal worth £55 million. That's the big transfer story today, and we'll discuss it in a couple of minutes. But first, I'd like to have a chat about Garnacho, because my word, he hasn't half pissed off a load of Man United fans, has he? Now, usually, I'm all for that. I think, go on lad, get stuck in, wind them up, love it. But in this instance, I think I'm team pissed off Man U fans. Now, I'm not a Man United fan. But if I was, A, I'd have some serious questions about my father's choices, and B, I'd be pissed off, because it's all about context. Now, for those of you unaware, Garnacho posted this photo on his social media yesterday. It's himself wearing a Marcus Rashford Aston Villa shirt. Now, I would assume that that's a shirt Marcus Rashford has worn for Aston Villa, and he's gave it to Garnacho as a gift. And I would hope that's the case, because the alternative is he's gone out and purchased that, which is another level of wind-up merchant altogether. But also, he's got the patches on his arms. And I find that weird. Not just if Garnacho did it, just anyone. It's one thing I've never really understood. If you go buy a replica shirt of your team, I get it. But to get the patches put on as if you're away to participate in the Premier League, I don't know. It's just one of those things I've never, ever understood. So anyway, we assume Garnacho's got that shirt from Rashford as a gift and he's decided to wear it on holiday. Not a problem with that. The issue isn't he's wearing it. The issue is he's posting on social media, because it's the context. And we've got to go back to, well, to be fair, arguably it began before Ruben Amorim. Let's just discuss the timeline under Ruben Amorim, because that's what's relevant here. And it's the battle between Amorim and Garnacho. And I think what Garnacho's done is maybe just lost himself a few supporters that were perhaps still backing him. Because, ironically, there was leaks about who was leaking things at Man United. For a long, long time now, everyone knows the Man U starting 11 hours before kickoff. It's on social media. It's not difficult to find. It's very, very accurate. It's always bang on. So there was leaks about who was leaking that stuff. But Ruben Amorim wasn't keen on it. It was like, right, who is leaking this stuff? We need it stopped. And there was a lot of rumours it was Marcus Rashford, a lot of rumours it was Garnacho and his brother, so on and so forth. But the relationship between Amorim and Garnacho has always been a little bit frosty. And it sort of came to a head in Bilbao, didn't it, in the Europa League final, where Garnacho didn't start. After the game, he made comments he made comments stating he should have started. Garnacho's brother, who's very unhelpful in all this situation, went one further. It resulted in Ruben Amorim going into a team meeting, pointing at Garnacho and saying, you better hope someone wants to buy you, or something along those lines. So his days at Old Trafford, they're not just numbered, they're done. So there's been this battle between manager and player. And whilst I think most Man U fans are Team Amorim, I think there's been some sympathy and some people still wanting to see Garnacho stay at Old Trafford, hoping that things could be mended. And I think this social media post just ruins that as far as I'm concerned, because the context is important. Since then, I've seen people put up pictures of Harry Mas, the young Man U player, putting up a picture of himself wearing a Real Madrid shirt while doing training this summer. That's completely different. And I'm going to flip that, right? Because I'm a West Ham fan, so I'm going to drag it into West Ham terms. If Jared Bowen posted a picture of him running around in a Real Betis shirt with Fernals on the back, wouldn't bother me in the slightest whatsoever. If he posted a picture of himself with an Aston Villa shirt on with Konsa on the back. Now, the context around this is that Jared Bowen got married a couple of weeks ago. Konsa was at his wedding. Or better still, if he posted a picture of an Arsenal shirt, this is worse, an Arsenal shirt with Rice on the back, it wouldn't bother me. Why? Because of the context, which is Jared Bowen's happy at West Ham. He's not looking to leave West Ham. There's been no argument between him and the manager. There's no war. There's nothing going on with Jared Bowen. He's settled. I know he will be here next season. He doesn't want out. However, if we had a player that was wanting out, that was butting heads with the manager, posting cryptical stuff like that on social media, I wouldn't be happy with it whatsoever, because the context is hugely important. If Bruno Fernandes posted a picture of him on social media wearing a Mendes PSG shirt or something, I don't think people would care, because they know Fernandes is staying at Man United now. Context is massively important in this case. So what Garnacho's done isn't the end of the world when you remove that context, but when you apply it, he knows what he's doing. As soon as he got that social media up and clicked on that picture, I mean, he's asked someone to take that picture as well. Hey, take this while I'm posing in front of the cars in the drive here. Take that picture. He's got a picture taken. He's looked at it, loaded up his social media. He's put the picture up before pushing publish. At some point, his brain cog, if it was an accident or if it was something that perhaps he wasn't reading the room, it was an error of judgment. At some point, something kicks in and says, "Are you sure about this?" It's probably not a good idea. He posts it. If it was an error of judgment, as soon as the backlash starts, you take it down, you delete it, and you go, "Whoa, sorry about that. I was just posting a picture of me wearing my mate's shirt I got as a gift on holiday. I didn't think anything of it. Didn't realise how to be portrayed." He knows exactly what he's doing. I can understand. I'm team pissed off Man U fans here. I understand why they think it's two fingers up to the club. It might be Garnacho may intend it, and this is where I will give him the benefit of the doubt. I think he may intend it to be two fingers up to Ruben Amorim. However, it doesn't come across as that. It comes across as two fingers up to Man United, to the fan base, to everything and everyone associated with the club. And what is already an awkward and ugly situation between Man U and Garnacho has just got made uglier. Now, for a player whose reputation is perhaps disruptive, I think that's fair to suggest that he's perhaps come across as a disruptive character in the last 12 months. This does not help. Now, clubs will still sign him, but it doesn't help. And also, Jamie Gittens potentially going to Chelsea does not help Man United either, because Garnacho to Chelsea felt like the most likeliest move for him this summer. They were linked to him for quite some time, all the way back in January as well. Chelsea are publicly in the market for a winger. Maresca at the Club World Cup, he said, "Yeah, we need a winger." Mudrik's banned. Sancho's gone back to Man U, paid $5 million not to sign him. Saved them $20 million though, didn't it? So maybe it's worth it. I do think, by the way, what I will say about that is context is important again. Did Chelsea pay a loan fee? If not, $5 million to have Sancho on loan for a season, I think is fair. I think that's a standard rate for signing someone like that. West Ham paid a handful of million for Calvin Phillips for 6 months. So paying $5 million for Sancho on loan for a season, that's probably the market value for a loan player. It's just whether they paid that plus a cancellation fee that's the issue. But in regards to Jamie Gittens going to Chelsea, I really wanted him at West Ham 12 months ago, because good thing we're doing YouTube videos. Proof exists 12 months ago. But I anticipated him exploding this season, if you like. He looked good at Dortmund before. He was just unpolished. He needed to improve quite a bit, but he just needed to hone in on his skills. There was a lot of raw ability there and raw potential. It just needed molded. And I think that's still the case. I still think he's got another couple of levels to go. But I think Chelsea need a left winger. And I think Jamie Gittens is a fantastic player. And for $55 million, which is the rumoured price tag at present, I think it's fair for what they're getting. An incredibly quick footballer, but not just quick as in top speed, but quick in terms of acceleration. When he gets that ball, he's explosive. He's quick to move his feet and he's quick to move himself. Right backs are going to struggle against him in the Premier League. Perhaps not the best chance creator, if you like. I think that element of his game needs to be improved. He needs to start providing a few more assists. But in terms of goals, he's got that. He will score goals at Chelsea, will cause all sorts of problems, can travel really well with the ball over long distances with his pace too. I think this is a really good signing. Also, I think Delap's a really good signing for them as well. Chelsea in the past, it's felt like they've been a bit just chucking cash around left, right and centre, bringing in these players, Mudryk being one of them. Sancho on loan, arguably being one of them. Saying, "Oh yeah, we'll have him," when it didn't really feel like a transfer that made sense or was going to work. But this summer with Delap and now Gittens, you're looking at it, I'm looking at it thinking, this is good business by Chelsea. This is the right stuff here. And as a West Ham fan, I don't like it. But I'm pleased to see. I'm looking forward to, there's quite a few players actually I'm looking forward to seeing in the Premier League next season. Gittens is one, Wirtz is one. Another one is Igor Jesus. We'll discuss him in a second. Before we do, I just want to labour that point. This move, Gittens to Chelsea, is a really good move for Chelsea, but it's a really bad move for Man United, because that's one club less you would imagine in the running for Garnacho. That social media post won't be doing any favours. I'll tell you what it might do, though, is force Man U to reduce their asking price for him, because what's the alternative? You keep him next season? I don't think you can do that. I think when Amorim, if you decide you're going to back your manager, like they've decided with Ruben Amorim, we're going to back him, and so they should, then you got to do it. You got to go all in. I don't think what you can do is say, oh, well, here's Cunha, and apparently they've gone back in for Mbomo for 60 million. Here's Mbomo. What about getting rid of that guy that I don't like, that I think is really just, I know you've got to keep him. I don't think you can do that. I think you've got to get him out of that club. Otherwise, it's a problem. And at the minute, it's a big problem. I think it could potentially be an even bigger one if they don't get Garnacho shipped out of Old Trafford quickly. But Chelsea's not in the running. That just maybe makes it a bit more difficult. Man United's negotiating stance, I think, has just got weaker over Garnacho over the last 24 hours. Not just the social media posts, not just Gittens, but both combined. Not good. Now, in regards to Igor Jesus, I'll be honest with you, I've never heard of him. Well, I had actually, that's a lie. West Ham were linked to him a year ago. Apparently, when we had Tim Steid in, he went to Brazil quite often, and he was one of the players we were linked to, but we didn't pursue for whatever reason. So I have heard of him, I've just not seen him play football. I don't watch Brazilian football. And I think that's one thing I enjoy about the Club World Cup. Maybe we'll do that as a video tomorrow. The Club World Cup, my thoughts on it. I've watched a lot of it. Before the tournament, I had a weak opinion of it. During the tournament, it's got a bit stronger. But at this point now, as we're coming out the group stage, going into the knockouts, I've firmed up my opinion on the Club World Cup as a tournament, things I like and things I dislike. There's things that fall into both categories. Tomorrow's video. But Igor Jesus, he looks good. Going to Nottingham Forest is not quite confirmed yet, but I think it's expected to go through. And he's not the only one, but he in particular is the one that's standing out to me. Got that bit of pace, got that physicality. I really like his movement, very sharp at shooting as well. His link-up play with the midfield is really good. He's ticking a lot of boxes, actually. From what I would like to see in a striker in general, he's ticking stuff. I've been watching him thinking, Forest have got themselves a real player here. There's an element, there's a twinge of jealousy with Jamie Gittens, because as much as I would have loved him 12 months ago, I knew after the last summer window closed, that was it. We're not going to get Gittens. He's too good for West Ham. So there was a twinge. But this one with Igor Jesus, I think, oh, there's even more jealousy, because we, West Ham, were linked to him. So not only was he realistic, he was someone we scouted and said, there's a guy, there's a good striker, and we did nothing with it. He's one player that I'm looking forward to seeing in Premier League next season. And with the way Nottingham Forest play as well under Nuno, he looks like a really good signing for them if it happens and it gets over the line and stuff. But anyway, that's the big latest news around the Premier League transfers today. I'll be back tomorrow discussing the Club World Cup. I'll catch you then.